Welcome to our deep dive into the human mind. Today we're uncovering 50 fascinating and surprising facts about human psychology that will blow your mind. Think of the human brain as this universe we've been trying to decode for millennia. We've launched telescopes to probe the cosmos, but what about the cosmos within each of us? Psychology is the tool, the observatory that lets us peer into the workings of our own minds. Get ready for some serious aha moments as we unravel the mysteries of why we think, feel and behave the way we do. Fasten your neurons because things are about to get fascinating.
Ever see a face in the clouds or on toast? That's your brain connecting the dots, seeking patterns even when they're not really there.
Remember that embarrassing moment from years ago? Of course you do. Our brains cling to negative memories like cosmic background radiation.
We like our beliefs and actions to align. When they don't, it's like a mental traffic jam. So we rationalize to ease the tension.
Chapter 4. The halo effect. Attractive people get all the perks. Studies show we perceive them as more intelligent and trustworthy. Is it their aura or just good genes?
Chapter 5. Mere exposure effect. Ever notice how that annoying song gets stuck in your head after the 100th listen? Repetition breeds familiarity, and familiarity breeds liking.
Chapter 6. Phantom vibration syndrome. That phantom phone buzz, it's not a ghost, it's your brain misinterpreting signals in this hyperconnected world.
Fear of success. We crave success, right? But some fear the changes it brings, self-sabotaging their own path to greatness.
Chapter 8. Placebo effect. The mind is a powerful thing. Believing a treatment works can actually trigger real physiological responses.
Chapter 9. Groupthink. Groups can be great, but sometimes the pressure to conform leads to bad decisions. It's like a cosmic dance where everyone follows the wrong lead.
Chapter 10. People overestimate their morality. We all like to think we're ethical, but most people believe they're more moral than average. A statistical impossibility.
Chapter 11. Choice overload. Paradoxically, too many choices can be paralyzing. Our brains crave simplicity in this complex universe.
Chapter 12. False consensus effect. Ever assume everyone agrees with you? We tend to overestimate how much others share our views.
Chapter 13. Anchoring bias. First impressions matter. Our initial judgments, even if irrelevant, can anchor our subsequent thinking.
Chapter 14. Cognitive bias, blind spot. We're great at spotting biases in others, but blind to our own. It's like trying to see the Milky Way from within the Milky Way.
Chapter 15. Social proof. Unsure what to do? We often look to others for cues, especially in unfamiliar situations. It's the herd mentality in action.
Chapter 16. Confirmation bias. We love to be right, so we seek out information that confirms what we already believe, ignoring evidence to the contrary.
Chapter 17. Learn helplessness. Repeated failures can lead to a sense of hopelessness, a belief that we have no control over our outcomes.
Chapter 18. The spotlight effect. Relax, you're not that interesting. We overestimate how much others notice our flaws and blunders.
Chapter 19. Cognitive load. Our brains are powerful, but they have limits. We can only juggle so much information at once before experiencing mental overload.
Chapter 20. Hedonic adaptation. We adapt to good and bad things surprisingly quickly. Remember that new phone excitement? It fades.
Chapter 21. Bystander effect. The more people present during an emergency, the less likely anyone is to help. It's diffusion of responsibility in action.
Chapter 22. Fundamental attribution error. We judge others harshly for their mistakes but excuse our own. It's all about perspective.
Chapter 23. Self-serving bias. Success is all me, but failure must be external factors. We love to take credit for the good stuff.
Emotional contagion. Emotions are contagious, spreading like wildfire through a crowd. Ever notice how happy people make you happy?
We're terrible at predicting what will make us happy in the long run. Lottery winners, often not as happy as you'd think.
Remember that grocery list? You'll probably recall the first and last items best. It's the power of primacy and recency.
They're not mind control, but subliminal cues can subtly influence our behavior. Think product placement in movies.
The Dunning-Kruger effect. Incompetent people often overestimate their abilities, while experts underestimate themselves. It's the irony of expertise.
Procrastination is emotional. We procrastinate not because we're lazy, but to avoid negative emotions associated with a task. It's a coping mechanism.
Fear can create false memories. Our memories are not always reliable. Intense fear or stress can actually create false memories.
We tend to remember our past choices as better than they actually were. It's all about avoiding buyer's remorse.
We overestimate how much others can read our minds. Relax, your poker face is probably better than you think.
Words matter, but nonverbal cues often speak louder. Our posture, gestures, and expressions reveal a lot.
Expecting something to happen can actually make it happen. It's the power of the placebo effect in action.
Rejection hurts, literally. Our brains process social rejection similarly to physical pain.
Even successful people often feel like frauds, doubting their accomplishments. It's surprisingly common.
Multitasking is a myth. Our brains are wired for focused attention, not juggling multiple tasks simultaneously.
First impressions matter. We make snap judgments about trustworthiness almost instantly, often subconsciously.
We judge the likelihood of events based on how easily examples come to mind. Shark attacks? Rare but memorable.
Our memories are not perfect recordings. They're reconstructed each time we recall them, and, well, they can be influenced by new information.
Our brains hate uncertainty. We crave explanations even if they're not entirely rational.
Ever buy something you didn't need? We justify purchases after the fact to reduce cognitive dissonance.
Fear is easier to learn than happiness. Our brains are wired to prioritize negative information. It's a survival mechanism.
Déjà vu. That eerie feeling of familiarity? It might be a glitch in the matrix or just our brains misfiring.
People avoid regret more often. They seek happiness. We're more motivated by avoiding pain than seeking pleasure. It's loss aversion in action.
Peak end rule. We judge experiences based on their peak and ending moments, not the overall duration. It's all about the highlights.
Social rejection mimics physical pain. Our brains process social pain similarly to physical pain. Rejection hurts, both emotionally and physically.
Temporal discounting. We value immediate rewards over larger, delayed ones. It's why we struggle with saving for retirement.
Chapter 49. Mirror neurons. These special neurons fire both when we perform an action and when we observe others doing it. They're crucial for empathy.
Change blindness. We're surprisingly bad at noticing gradual changes in our environment. It's why we don't see how much we've aged.
Thanks for joining us on this journey through the human mind. We've explored the quirks, biases, and fascinating complexities that make us who we are. From the way we perceive patterns to the power of the placebo effect, the human mind is a universe unto itself, full of wonders and mysteries waiting to be unraveled. If you enjoyed these insights, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating content. Keep those neurons firing, and we'll see you in the next video.